one little girl did say to her teacher when this happened, she said, "I'm strong too." And I think that's the concern here. And I met Jameis Winston. Obviously, we did the show down there in Tampa during training camp, and I was really impressed by him, his poise, his leadership, especially for his age. So I only have the information and privy to the information that we all have, that video we saw, so I don't want to chastise him. But I can tell you this, I appreciate the message that he's saying in terms that you can be all you can be and be strong, and giving that message to the boys. It's so disappointing to hear that it's not the same message sent to the little girls as well. And from what I understand from the article I read on ESPN.com is that one of the boys was disengaged. So that's why he asked all the boys to stand up. But here's what I would say to that. Why do you need to disengage the girls to make that point? If you want to engage the boy, the girls can also be standing with you. They're also strong. They also can be all they can be. And as somebody, I grew up with a very strong father figure, and he was someone who said to me, he certainly, to be polite, yes, but who said to me, you need to be able to take care of yourself. You need to work hard. You need to be able to take care of yourself because you're the only person you can count on. And that's driven me my entire life. So if somebody's sending a message, you need to be silent, you need to be polite, and then have no voice, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in today and be able to take care of myself.
His exhorting the boys by kind of teasing them using a gender stereotype reinforces the stereotype. It reinforces the assumptions of that stereotype, which is not healthy for the girls nor the boys to hear.
And if those are his values or beliefs, I just find that very disappointing, but to each his own. And unfortunately, that's something that we battle as we do racial issues, which we talked about earlier in the show.
The one thing that I would say is that we all recognize how wrong he was. There's no doubt about that. He's 23 years old. And sometimes you make those kind of mistakes. He better not make it again, and we get that part. But the other thing that's important to point out, you know, we got a lot of people, and you see somebody in the public eye, and because they're in the public eye, you want them to come speak. But when it comes to speaking to young minds, particularly if your fame allows you to be a significant and influential figure, rather than just inviting somebody to come and talk to kids just because they're famous, perhaps you should do your homework and decipher whether or not they're qualified to speak to young kids and give the appropriate message, because some folks just may not know better. I don't believe for one second that Jameis Winston intended to offend anybody. He clearly went there out of the kindness of his heart trying to be an inspiration. But he dropped the ball when it came to the young ladies. And maybe he just didn't need to be in that position. And I think that's something people need to think about.
No question. And I'd love if that little girl who asked her teacher and said, well, I'm strong too. I wish she asked that to Jameis, so then he could have potentially responded, but that didn't happen.